This past year earned a record amount in purse money. The total purse distribution of $672,705,000 was up 4% over 1985. Much of that money was earned by progeny of Leafard. The Gainesway Farm stallion led the general sire list in 1986 by siring the winners of nearly $5.7 million throughout the world. Leafard's 36 winners during 1986 included 10 stakes winners in the United States, England, and France. The richest offspring of the 18-year-old stallion was Eclipse Award winner Manila, who banked $1.8 million last year. Another millionaire son of Leafard is Dancing Brave, winner of Europe's biggest race, the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe. Speaking of stallions, two sons of Alydar have retired to stud in the bluegrass. Turcoman, the champion older male of 1986, has joined the stallion ranks at Darby Dan Farm in Lexington. Turcoman, winner of the 1986 Marlboro Cup, retires with earnings of $2,147,000. And another son of Alydar, Midway Circle, will stand the 1987 breeding season at Knuckles Farm in Midway, Kentucky. His biggest victory came in the 1986 Fort Lauderdale Handicap, where he defeated Darn That Alarm by 3 lengths. Midway Circle is a half-brother to Jenna Straley, another Knuckles Farm stallion. A new addition to the stallion ranks in Florida for the upcoming breeding season will be Nijinsky's multiple graded stakes-winning son, Val d'Ansur, who will stand at Savin Farm in Reddick. Val d'Ansur enjoyed his best success last year, winning 4 of his 5 outings, including a course record in the Grade 3 Rolling Green Handicap at Golden Gate Fields. For the second consecutive year, Fred W. Hooper's Precisionist has been named the Florida-bred Horse of the Year. Precisionist is on the mend after undergoing surgery last week for the insertion of a pin in his fractured cannon bone.
He came out of the operation very well. You can't even tell where he was operated on. In fact, a veterinarian friend of mine came by today and he says, "Where's the incision at?" All there is one little stitch there. And right now he's sound and walking around the stall, and any time within the next couple days he could go home or wherever Mr. Hooper wants to send him.
Fenstermaker says Precisionist will likely retire to Hooper's farm in Ocala, Florida, unless a major Kentucky breeding farm offers an attractive syndication deal for the 6-year-old son of Crozier. Last Thursday was the initial deadline for nominations to the 1987 Triple Crown, which for the first time will offer a guaranteed $5 million in purses and bonuses. Audrey Korotkin, executive director of Triple Crown Productions, hopes the eventual number of nominees will surpass the record 452 3-year-olds made eligible last year.
People who we know are regular customers who normally would nominate horses anywhere are nominating more horses this year. And the comments that we got from the horsemen were, well, we don't want to leave anybody out. You know, with this much money at stake, we want to make sure that anybody that's got a shot is going to be nominated.
Eclipse Award-winning trainer D. Wayne Lucas has the most early Triple Crown nominees with 17. The Lucas-trained Lady Secret is the odds-on favorite to be named Horse of the Year when that Eclipse Award is announced next Friday in New York. Bill Finley, turf writer for the New York Post, gives his vote to the champion mare.
Well, it almost has to be Lady Secret. I am, again, behind her quite a bit. Just the fact that Manila did not get the 3-year-old dirt championship is pretty much a tip-off that he's not going to get the Horse of the Year, that they just considered him a turf horse only, and that it's going to be Lady Secret all the way.
And speaking of the females, we'll begin our racing recap this week with the fillies and mares. The Grade 3 Affectionately Handicap brought out 11 members of the Distaff Division at Aqueduct, racing for a purse of $75,000 added, plus $25,000 in Breeders' Cup premiums. Swan Song, who finished second in the 1986 Affectionately, was the 3-2 favorite. Here's the call by Marshall Cassidy.
They approach the top of the stretch. 3/4, 13-2. Clamanas Rose still leads by about 2. Mine Tonight on the outside, second by 3. Cherokee Chill is third. Swan Song on the rail moving up. Swan Song now takes third. On the far outside, Ms. Eloise. They pass the 8th pole. Clamanas Rose still leads by 2. Swan Song second by a length. Then Mine Tonight and Ms. Eloise. Swan Song continues to gain on the outside of Clamanas Rose. Swan Song on the outside gains the lead.
Swan Song caught Clamanas Rose in the stretch and posted a 3/4 length victory. Carrying high weight of 124 pounds, including Jose Santos, Squan Song covered the mile in the 16th in 1:46 and 1/5. That was the 6-year-old debut for the Exceller mare, who has won 18 of 33 starts, including 14 stakes. Bred in Maryland by Mrs. Peter Green, Squan Song was sold as a weanling for $125,000 at the 1981 Keeneland November mix sale. Now racing for Robert Brennan, Squan Song has earned over $857,000. On the West Coast, the sprinting fillies and mares were featured in the Grade 3 Santa Monica handicap, $75,000 added plus $21,000 in Breeders' Cup money. Pine Tree Lane was the nearly even money favorite in the field of 6. Trevor Denman picks up the call.
They pass the quarter pole and come for home. Pine Tree Lane leading it now a length and a half to Balladry and Her Royalty. They're coming down to the 8th pole. Pine Tree Lane finding more on the lead. Balladry, Her Royalty, Rangoon Ruby closing but a little too far back. There's the 16th pole. Pine Tree Lane and Balladry coming to the wire together. Pine Tree Lane keeps on finding more. Pine Tree Lane winning it by half a length.
Pine Tree Lane went wire to wire under Angel Cordero to beat Balladry for her second graded stakes victory of the new year. Under high weight of 125 pounds, Pine Tree Lane ran the 7 furlongs in 1:21 and 4. In her seasonal debut, the 5-year-old mare by Appalachia won the Grade 3 Las Flores handicap. She's won 12 races, including 3 stakes, during her 22-race career and has earned $583,000. Pine Tree Lane was bred in Kentucky by Pat Woods and Woodhaven Farm and was originally purchased for $22,000 at the 1983 Facey-Tipton, Kentucky September yearling sale. Current owner Leonard Mathis bought her privately last September, and she's blossomed since Wayne Lucas took over her training. Coming up, a look at Lucas's Maine Kentucky Derby hopeful.
Nation's Business Update with Carl Grant.
Wall Street's winning streak has been ended after 13 days. The Dow lost 10 1/2 points. Labor and management at John Deere have been ordered back to the bargaining table. The UAW has been striking the company since August, and prior talks have broken down. The Supreme Court has ruled that states have no obligation to pay unemployment benefits to women who voluntarily leave jobs to have babies. Full details tomorrow on Nation's Business Today. Now this.
Now be the driver you've always wanted to be. Be fast, be daring, be in control with Monogram Thunder. Lightning, the 4-wheel drive Tornado. 3 radio-controlled racers that are ready to go right out of the box. Everything's included. All you do is fly at speeds up to 25 miles an hour. Power over the most demanding courses. Be the driver you've always wanted to be. Get Thunder, Lightning, Tornado, and soon Mad Wolf from Monogram.
The hottest action on the PGA Tour is on ESPN beginning Friday. Our live coverage of the Phoenix Open features some of the game's biggest stars, including Fuzzy Zeller, Player of the Year Bob Tway, Bernard Langer, Kelvin Pete, and many more. The PGA Phoenix Open starting Friday live on ESPN.
Since 1981, trainer Wayne Lucas has started 9 horses in the Kentucky Derby, and his best finish was a 3rd-place effort by his first Derby hopeful, Partey. But with Capote getting ready for his 3-year-old campaign, Lucas appears to have his best chance at finally winning the Derby. Tom Hammond has a profile on the champion 2-year-old colt of 1986.
Capote, a son of Seattle Slew and a half-brother to Exceller and Balsky, had the outstanding pedigree and the looks to attract a final bid of $800,000 at the 1985 Keeneland Summer Yearling Sale.
In the back, $800,000. Thank you.
And he fulfilled his potential by winning the Eclipse Award as champion 2-year-old colt of 1986. Capote clinched that honor with this convincing victory in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Capote has won it!
Trainer Wayne Lucas had planned to give Capote a short rest right after the Breeders' Cup, but it turned into somewhat of a forced vacation when the colt caught a fever that swept the Hollywood Park backstretch this winter.
He ran a little temperature, but he came through that all right. And, of course, anytime a good horse gets sick, everybody becomes alarmed. And I think maybe he got more publicity and alarm. People were more alarmed than merited because he's fine right now. He's going to the track daily, and he's doing just super.
Lucas anticipates Capote's first timed work sometime in early February. Then it's on the road to Churchill Downs. But Capote's trip will be quite a bit shorter than some others that Lucas-trained 3-year-olds have endured.
With the Kentucky Derby Triple Crown situation and the big bonus, I think it's important that you go into that a little bit fresh. We've got as much as $5 million to be made in the Triple Crown. The Traverse is now $1 million. I wouldn't be surprised to see Hollywood Park make the swap stake $1 million. And with the emphasis on the fall, there's so much to run at. I do not want to get caught up too much in February and March. I think I'm going to point a little bit more for the April preps and possibly run him once and no more than twice before the Derby. We've been favored in a couple of Derbies and obviously haven't won it yet, so I think every year you go back and you try to become a little wiser about how to maybe prepare for that race, but I don't think there's any set pattern. I think you got to watch your horse a little bit and determine what you have to do next. I've tried it different ways. I've gone in early, I've gone in late, I've worked them up, I've run them 2 or 3 times, I've run them once, and I've tried it different ways, and so far it hasn't been successful. But I think the best assurance of winning the Kentucky Derby is to have a super horse.
With Capote, Lucas thinks he finally has that elusive Kentucky Derby winner. This is Tom Hammond for the Winner's Circle.
We have 2 graded stakes for the turf specialists this week. This past Monday, fillies and mares were on the grass at Santa Anita in the $100,000 added San Gorgonio handicap. 5 of the 7 starters were foreign bred, but the 3-2 favorite was Kentucky bred outstandingly. Here's the call by Trevor Denman.
The whole field has a shot as they turn for home. Solver at the rail for Liniana, New Bruce, Reloy. On the rail outstandingly, Frau Altiva, Auspiciante on the grandstand side. Solver is finding more. Outstandingly looks in tight quarters for Liniana. Here's Auspiciante coming strongly on the outside. Auspiciante and Frau Altiva now exploding out of it. Frau Altiva.
The Argentine-bred Frau Altiva gets her first North American Stakes victory with a 1-length score over another Argentine-bred mare, Auspiciante, followed by the British-bred Salva and another Argentine-bred Feliniana. Lafitte Pinkai rode Frau Altiva over the mile and an eighth in 150 and won. The 5-year-old mare by Frari won 2 Group 1 races in her native country as a 3-year-old, and she was stakes placed at Hollywood Park last year. Frau Altiva has converted earnings of $123,000. She now races for the partnership of Brooks, and Lawrence. The male turf specialists were on the grass at Hialeah in the Grade 3 Royal Palm handicap. Infantry, making his first start since November 1985, was the 9-5 favorite in this $50,000 added race. Tom Durkin picks up the call.
It's still Show Dancer and Leafard Line. They're still going at it. High Ideal tracking them third. Silver Voices now dropped back to fourth. Pillister poised for the stretch drive on the outside fifth. Real Courage on the extreme outside. Infantry down on the hedge. Leafard Line taking the lead as they come to the 8th pole. And Craig Perrette goes to work on Show Dancer, trying to come back. But it is Leafard Line who's getting away from Show Dancer. Storm on the loose. He's full of run on the outside. Here comes Storm on the loose to nail it in the last jump.
Storm on the Loose caught Leafard Line in the final strides to post a half-length victory at odds of 8-1. With Jorge Velasquez up and carrying 116 pounds, Storm on the Loose covered the mile and a 16th in 141 and 4. The Canadian-bred 4-year-old colt by Leafard has done his best racing on grass. His other 2 stakes victories, the Laurel Turf Cup and the Mutual Savings Life Derby, both on the turf. Storm on the Loose has earned $321,000 racing for his breeder, Richard Kennedy. Coming up, a surprising finish in the San Fernando Stakes. Around the world, Gainesway Stallions are the leaders in the thoroughbred industry. From Santa Anita in Los Angeles to Newmarket, England. From Gulfstream in Miami to Lawshaw in Paris. From Arlington Park in Chicago to Sandown, England. From Belmont Park in New York to Milan, Italy. And from Hollywood Park in Los Angeles to Ascot, England. Plus brilliant victories in America's richest handicap event and America's richest race for 2-year-olds. The dominance of males by a champion mare. And the world championship performances of Dancing Brave and Manila. Both sons of the world's leading sire for 1986, Leafard. In 1986 alone, the progeny of Gainesway Stallions won or placed in over 500 stakes races, worth more than $40 million. That's why Gainesway Stallions are the leaders to